All right, my name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal sports bets on BrockPage.com. And I have packages as low as just $1.99. Now, the purpose of these YouTube videos is to provide informational sports betting content and also to generate interest in signing up for a membership on my website. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my webpage. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on my website is I actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, let's go ahead and get into some free content. The Avalanche take on the Sabres, 1 o'clock Eastern puck drop on Saturday, February 19th, 2022. Colorado's the $3 favorite with the total at 6.5 goals. Darcy Kuemper is the expected netminder for Colorado. Craig Anderson probable for the Sabres. Despite some fairly good numbers out of Anderson, the Sabres did lose 4 out of their last 6 contests, and they allow 35 shots on goal a game. Now, Buffalo's also struggled to get the job done at home. They're winning only 32% of their contests at the KeyBank Center. Now, they're taking on a Colorado team who won 8 out of their last 10, and they rank in the top 3 in the league in scoring. Mikko Rantanen has 25 goals and 56 total points. Meanwhile, Nazem Kadri leads the club in points with 62 of them. And when it comes to defensive play in this one, the Avs are allowing only 2.8 goals per contest. And they're also in the top 10 in defensive shots on goal. Darcy Kuemper's 24-5 through 29 starts and has a .238 goals against average. Now, Kemper's also got himself a save percentage of .921. When it comes to the injury report in this one, Byram is still out indefinitely for Colorado. Meanwhile, for Buffalo on the other side, it's Mittelstadt and Quinn who are still out for them. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, Buffalo went 4-1 to the over in their last 5 outings. Overs against the likes of the Islanders, Montreal, and Columbus. Meanwhile, Colorado's 14-8 to the over when they travel themselves. And that's good for 64% in that particular category. I'm going to lean toward Colorado -1.5 and the over 6.5 goals. Next contest, it is going to be Oilers versus the Jets, 4 p.m. Eastern start time. Edmonton's -120 with the total at 6 goals. Mike Smith for the Oilers, Connor Hellebuyck for Winnipeg. Now, Hellebuck's got 17 victories on the season, along with a .281 goals against average and a .913 save percentage. Now, the Jets are actually in the top 10 in fewest home goals allowed, and they're 13-9-1 at the Canada Life Center. Now, defenseman Brendan Dillon's a +15 when he's on a shift. When it comes to the offensive production in this one, Kyle Connor's 6th in the league in goals with 28 of them. Now, Winnipeg's currently taking on an Edmonton team who allows 32 shots on goal a game defensively. Meanwhile, on the other end of the ice, the Oilers have averaged only 2.8 goals per contest in their last 10 meetings with the Jets. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Now, injury-wise, Keith, Turris, and Cashin are still out for Edmonton. Meanwhile, for the Jets, Sandberg is still out indefinitely for them. Kopp and Perfetti are also listed as questionable. When it comes to the total in this one, 2 out of Winnipeg's last 4 home games fell under the posted number. They're also 5-4 to the under in their last 9 meetings with Edmonton. Meanwhile, the Oilers currently find themselves 60% to the under in their last 10 contests themselves. I'm going to lean toward Winnipeg +$1 and the under 6 goals. Next contest, it is going to be Bruins versus the Senators, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Boston's -160 with a total at 5.5 goals. Jeremy Swayman for Boston, Matt Murray for Ottawa. Now, Murray's gotten the W in just 5 out of his last 14 starts. The Senators are also allowing 34 shots on goal a game. And they've gotten the W in only 9 out of 24 contests at the Canadian Tire Center. Meanwhile, offensively, on the other end of the ice, Ottawa's also finding themselves scoring only 2.7 goals per game. and they're also in the bottom 10 in the league in scoring on average per contest. Now they're taking on a Boston team who leads the NHL in fewest goals allowed on the road. Goaltender Jeremy Swayman, he comes into Saturday's game with a .215 goals against average and a .923 save percentage. Meanwhile, defenseman Matt Grelchek's a +6 when he's on the ice. Now, when it comes to the injury report in this one, Marchand and Vakinen are both still out. Marchand's he's not even injured. He's serving a suspension. Meanwhile, for Ottawa on the other side, Pinto, Norris, White, and Batherson, they're still out indefinitely for them. Meanwhile, Watson and Forsberg are both listed as questionable. Now, total-wise, Ottawa's currently 63% to the under on their home ice. They also went 8-2 to the under in their last 10 games at any location. Meanwhile, Boston saw 4 out of their last 6 on the road fall under the posted total themselves. The Bruins also find themselves 60% to the under in their last 10 meetings with the Senators. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. I'm going to lean toward Boston -160 and the under 5.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Blues versus the Leafs, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Toronto's -155 at home with a total at 6. Jack Campbell for Toronto, Ville Husso for St. Louis. And despite some really impressive stats out of Husso, the Blues lost 4 out of their last 7, and they allowed nearly 4 goals a game during that span. Now, when it comes to defensive shots on goal, the Blues allow nearly 34 shots a game when they travel. They're taking on a Toronto team who's in the top 10 in the league in scoring themselves. Austin Matthews has 33 goals and 59 total points. Now, the center's actually second in the NHL in scoring. Meanwhile, Mitch Marner's got 17 total goals. He's also a +15 when he's on the ice. Now, when it comes to defensive play in this one, Toronto's allowing only 2.7 goals a game. When it comes to the total in this one, the Leafs saw 3 out of their last 4 home games get over the posted number. Toronto's also gone 70% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, St. Louis on the other side, they're 60% to the over in their last 10 outings themselves. I'm going to lean toward Toronto -155 in the over 6. Next contest, it is going to be Kings versus the Coyotes, 9 o'clock Eastern start time. LA's -185 with the total at 5.5. Cal Peterson possible for the Kings. Karel Vejmelka for Arizona. Now, Karel's gotten the W in just 7 out of 27 starts this year. And he also has a .345 goals against average. Now, the Coyotes are in the bottom 3 in goals allowed per game. They're also giving up nearly 35 shots on goal a game at home. Now, they're taking on a Kings team on the other side of things who actually averages 36 shots on goal a game offensively. And they're led by Adrian Kemp, who scored 19 goals and has 28 points. And speaking of total points, well, that title's got to go to Anze Kopitar. Well, not the title in the league, but at least for the club. He's the leading points getter. Anze Kopitar, 42 total points on the season, thanks in most part to 28 big assists. And when it comes to the defensive play in this one, LA's done a pretty nice job keeping the puck out of the net on the road. They're currently in the top 3 in fewest goals allowed per contest away from home. Cal Peterson, he's 11-7 this year with a .270 goals against average. When it comes to the total in this one, LA's gone 15-7 to the under when they travel this year. They're also 60% to the under in their last 10 meetings with Arizona. I'm going to lean toward the LA Kings -185 and the under 5.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Anaheim versus Vancouver, 10 o'clock Eastern start time. The Canucks are -155 with the total at 5.5. Thatcher Demko for Vancouver, John Gibson for Anaheim. Now, Johnny G's got 15 wins under his belt this season with a .915 save percentage. And as much as the Ducks have struggled here recently, they've gotten the W in 7 out of their last 10 meetings with Vancouver. Now, when it comes to defensive play, it's defenseman Hampus Lindholm, who's a +5 when he's on the ice. They're taking on a Vancouver team who's gotten the W in just 10 out of 22 at home. And to be honest with you, they really don't score a whole lot at Rogers Arena. As a matter of fact, Vancouver is currently in the bottom 3 in the league in scoring on average per contest at home. Now, injury-wise, Suter's still out indefinitely. Meanwhile, for Anaheim, it's Getzlaf, who is questionable for them. When it comes to the total in this one, Anaheim went 60% to the under in their last 10 meetings with Vancouver. They also held the Canucks to just 2.2 goals a game during that span. Meanwhile, Vancouver is 17-5 to the under when they play at home. I'm going to lean toward Anaheim plus 1.5 and the under 5.5 goals. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup of the show. It is going to be Kraken versus the Flames, 10 p.m. East. Calgary's minus 265, total 6 goals. Jacob Markstrom for Calgary, Philip Grubauer for Seattle. Now, Grub's got the dub in just 12 of 32 starts this season. He's got a .318 goals against average and an .884 save percentage. Now, the Kraken's in the bottom 5 in goals allowed per contest, and they're winning only 30% of their road games. They're taking on a red-hot Calgary team who won their last 8 straight. They average nearly 37 shots on goal a game offensively. Meanwhile, on the other end of the ice, well, nothing really gets past these guys in the Saddle Dome. They're currently leading the NHL in fewest home goals allowed, and they're also limiting their competition to just 25 shots on goal a game in that very category. Now, defenseman Oliver Killington, he's a plus 26 when he's on a shift. And, of course, goaltender Jacob Markstrom, he's 21-10 with a .212 goals against average and a .927 save percentage. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Calgary minus 1.5 and the under 6 goals. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on BrockPage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on BrockPage.com, you're going to get access to those picks all the way through the end of February. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single pick that I give out on that website, you're going to want to think about signing up for my board member tier package. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at BrockPage.com.